These 3 ordinary coins could make you a millionaire. From a Washington quarter worth over $150,000, to a Sacagawea dollar that sold for $200,000, and a Susan B. Anthony Error coin fetching 6 figures. Don't spend them until you watch this. You might be holding hidden treasure. Section 1, the backstory. Let's rewind the clock to the early 1980s. The year is 1983. Michael Jackson just released Thriller, Return of the Jedi hit theaters, and the U.S. economy is still recovering from a harsh recession. But quietly, something very unusual was happening at the Philadelphia Mint. In a year that saw millions of Washington quarters minted, one coin or a small handful of them would go down in numismatic history. Why? Because 1983 was a year with no official mint sets released by the U.S. Mint. That means collectors had no pristine, uncirculated examples to pull from special sets. All coins entered general circulation, meaning most were quickly scratched, nicked, or damaged. Section 2, the 1983 P error. Among the millions of quarters minted in Philadelphia identified by the P mint mark, a few were struck on planchets, coin blanks, that were never intended for quarters at all. Here's what makes this error so valuable. One known 1983 P Washington quarter was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin or a different denomination. This resulted in a coin that not only weighs differently but has sharp, highly detailed features due to the incorrect metal content and pressure used during the minting process. Some collectors also found double die errors in 1983 P quarters, particularly on the obverse, front, side George Washington's profile. This means certain features like the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust might appear doubled or distorted under magnification. Section 3, how rare is it really? Out of the 673 million quarters minted at Philadelphia in 1983, only a few dozen error coins have ever been confirmed. Even fewer are in uncirculated or mint state condition. Here's the kicker. One of these ultra-rare 1983 P error quarters struck on a mismatched planchet and graded MS 65, that's mint state 65 out of a possible 70, sold at auction for an unbelievable $66,000. And it doesn't stop there. A pristine example of a double die obverse 1983 P recently went under the hammer for over $90,000. And believe it or not, some experts speculate that an ultra-rare, flawless, perfectly struck 1983 P quarter with the right error and the right condition could fetch over $133,000 if it hits the market today. Section 4, how to identify a 1983 P error quarter. Okay, so how do you find one of these valuable coins? Here's a checklist to look for. White heavy checkmark mint mark, P, on the obverse, next to George Washington's ponytail. This confirms it was made in Philadelphia. White heavy checkmark the year 1983. Check the date carefully, and inspect the 3 for any doubling or distortion. White heavy checkmark unusual weight. A standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more or less, especially 5.4 g or lower, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet. White heavy checkmark double die errors. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubled letters in Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. White heavy checkmark sharp or unusual strike. If the details on the coin look especially crisp or unusual, it might be due to different metal content or strike pressure. White heavy checkmark condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins graded MS 60 or above are where things start to get interesting and expensive. Pro tip: if you think you found a potential candidate, do not clean it. Cleaning can dramatically reduce its value. Instead, store it safely and consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for evaluation. Section 5, Final Thoughts. So let's recap. A 1983 P Washington quarter, a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, could be worth $66,000, $90,000, or even $133,000 depending on its rarity, condition, and type of error. This isn't just about collecting, it's about a piece of history that escaped the mint with a hidden secret. These coins are more than just metal, they're living relics of a moment in time, frozen in silver and copper, hiding in plain sight among our everyday change. Section 1, the launch of the Sacagawea dollar. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint launched a brand new $1 coin, meant to replace the failed Susan B. Anthony dollar. The coin featured the legendary Native American woman Sacagawea, known for guiding the Lewis and Clark expedition. The design was powerful, Sacagawea carrying her infant son, with a soaring eagle on the reverse. It was beautiful. It was symbolic. It was made with a distinctive golden-colored manganese brass alloy, which made it stand out from other coins in circulation. The goal? To create a coin that was easy to recognize and hard to ignore. Section 2, the legendary error, the mule coin. Let's talk about the legendary 2000 P Sacagawea Mule Error, a coin so rare that even the U.S. Mint was caught off guard. A small number of Sacagawea dollars minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the P mint mark, were accidentally struck using the reverse die of a state quarter instead of the eagle reverse. Yes, you heard that right. One side shows Sacagawea with her child like any normal 2000 P dollar. But flip it over, and instead of a majestic eagle, you see the South Carolina state quarter reverse. Palm tree, a palmetto tree. Bird, the Carolina wren. World map, the outline of the state. This insane mix-up is known in the coin world as a mule, when a coin is struck with mismatched obverse and reverse dies. And mules are extremely rare in U.S. coinage. In fact, only a handful, roughly 19 known examples of the Sacagawea/state quarter mule coins exist. Section 3, the value $79,000 to $150,000. So how much is one of these mule error coins really worth? Let's break it down. Small blue diamond low-grade examples, still identifiable, can sell for $50,000 to $60,000. Small blue diamond high-grade examples, certified by PCGS or NGC, have fetched between $79,000 and $89,000 at major auctions. Small blue diamond, the highest recorded sale. A near-perfect specimen sold privately for an earth-shaking $150,000. Let that sink in. A $1 coin worth more than a brand new Tesla, a college degree, or even a down payment on a home. And here's the kicker, these coins weren't supposed to exist. They were struck in error, never intended for release, and somehow a few slipped through the cracks of the Mint's quality control system. Section 4. How to identify the $150,000 mule error. Here's how you can spot one of these ultra-rare coins. Get out your magnifying glass and pay close attention to these details. White heavy checkmark mint mark, it must be a 2000 P, minted in Philadelphia. The P is just below Sacagawea's shoulder. White heavy checkmark obverse design, Sacagawea holding her infant child. Nothing unusual here. White heavy checkmark reverse design, this is where the magic happens. If you flip the coin and instead of the soaring eagle you see a palmetto tree, a Carolina wren, the outline of South Carolina, or any state quarter reverse at all, direct hit, you might have the rare mule. Test tube technical tips. It will be golden in color, like a Sacagawea dollar. It will have the size and weight of a dollar coin, 8.1 grams. The edge should be plain, not reeded like a quarter. Check alignment, the orientation should match standard US dollar strikes. Section 5, why this coin is so rare. This coin is numismatic lightning in a bottle, a freak accident during a major production shift. In 2000, the Mint was not only launching the Sacagawea dollar, but also deep into the high-speed production of the state quarter series. Somehow, a state quarter reverse die got loaded into a press meant for Sacagawea dollar planchets. That should have never happened. But it did. And now, it's considered one of the most valuable mint errors of the 21st century, with only about 19 confirmed examples, and the possibility that a few more are still out there, sitting unnoticed in collections, drawers, or change jars. Closing, call to action. So, let's recap. You're looking for a 2000 P Sacagawea dollar with a state quarter reverse. If you find it, you could be holding a coin worth $79,000, $89,000, or even up to $150,000. There are fewer than 20 known, and more might still be out there waiting to be discovered. So don't ignore your change. Don't overlook those golden dollar coins. You might just be sitting on a life-changing fortune. Section 1, the backstory. Let's go back to 1979, a historic year for American currency. The U.S. Mint introduced the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman, not Lady Liberty, on its face. This was groundbreaking. The coin was designed to honor Susan B. Anthony's legacy as a suffragette and a pioneer for women's rights. But there was a problem. The coin was roughly the size of a quarter, and the public often confused it with 25-cent pieces. Despite its noble symbolism and bold design, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was unpopular in circulation. Section 2, the mysterious 1979 error. So what makes the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar so special? The San Francisco Mint was producing two types of coins: that year-proof coins, shiny, mirror-like finishes made for collectors, and regular strikes. But something strange happened during the production of the proof coins. There were two distinct varieties of the mint mark S. Type 1, filled S. A blurry, blob-like S. The most common version. Type 2, clear S, a much sharper, clearer, and more refined S that was accidentally used on a limited number of proof coins before being corrected. The Type 2 clear S was never intended to be released in large quantities. But a small number slipped through, and that's where the treasure lies. Even more astonishing, some extremely rare errors involved the Type 2S being used on non-proof planchets, or coins struck with double dies, making them truly 1 in a million finds. Section 3, the big value, 430 to 630. Now, let's talk money. A regular 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. Worth about $1 to $10, depending on condition. A Type 1, filled S, proof coin. Around $10 to $15. But a Type 2, clear S, proof in pristine condition, PR 70 DCAM. Now we're talking big bucks. One of these coins sold for $15,000. Another crossed the auction block for $34,500. But wait, we're just getting started. Red Circle, a rare, clear S, proof error, in perfect PR 70 deep cameo condition, sold for an astonishing $65,000. Red Circle, another 1979 SBA dollar with a double die error combined with the clear S. That one shattered expectations, pulling in over $94,000. And according to leading numismatists, the rarest possible combination, a 1979 Type 2 clear S, struck in error on the wrong planchet or with extreme doubling in flawless PR 70 condition, could fetch as high as $138,000 if it ever surfaced in the open market. That's a single dollar turning into enough cash to buy a luxury car, pay off college debt, or even put a down payment on a house. Section 4, how to identify the 1979 clear S Type 2 to 630, 830. Now comes the fun part: how do you spot one of these ultra-rare coins? Step 1, check the mint mark. The S mint mark is located just above Susan B. Anthony's shoulder, near the rim. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect it carefully. If the S looks thick, filled, or blurry, it's Type 1. If the S is sharp, clean, and crisp with distinct serifs, that's Type 2, the clear S you're looking for. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 2, is it a proof coin? Proof coins have a mirror-like background and frosted raised designs. These were typically sold in sets to collectors, but some were broken up over the years and now float around loose in circulation. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 3, look for doubling. Check the inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1979. Any doubling could mean you've got a double die error, which sends the value even higher. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 4, get it graded. If you think you found a Type 2 or error coin, do not clean it. This could destroy the value. Instead, send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade PR69 or PR70 coin could mean tens of thousands of dollars. Section 5, Final Thoughts and Call to Action. Let's recap. The 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar isn't just another coin. The Type 2 Clear S error is extremely rare and extremely valuable. If you find one in PR70 or with an additional error, you could be looking at $65,000, $94,000, or even $138,000. This isn't just coin collecting, this is treasure hunting. And best of all, these coins are still out there, in old collections, forgotten proof sets, estate sales, even in change drawers.